What's going on, guys? No Guides here. Welcome back to another tactics video. We're going to go over the 4-4-1-1 custom tactics setup for the weekend league. In case you're wondering why is the audio changed, I'm actually away in France, touching grass, as people would say, going outside my bedroom instead of making videos all day. So that is why I'm recording the video actually abroad. So I'm actually going to be missing out this weekend league, but it's always important to take breaks. Take a break in a weekend league. Try one. I know you're going to miss some rewards, but just have a break sometimes from the game. It's better for your health, mental health, and of course, sometimes even helps you with gameplay to reduce that frustration. Now, let's go over the 4-4-1-1. I want to talk about, now, as I mentioned, I want to go through a different setup here. So ignore the team and everything here. This would be the system to close out the game. I've gone with 31 depth counter. The code is, again, on the left-hand side. But what I wanted to focus on here in particular is that the benefit of the 4-4-1-1, as I mentioned yesterday, is it shares the same structure as a 4-4-2. You can see, for example, here, when I compare this formation and I compare this one, the difference is CDMs. So if you're sitting here and you have CDMs in your team, like let's say you got a centre mid that can play CDM, like a Tonali, for example, or a Patri, then you can start the game, or close out the game, should I say, with a 4-2-3-1 second variation. Because CDMs, they sit deeper and they're much better defensively. So this is what we've gone with. You can go with a build-up style with balance, to be honest, or even short passing. I think now, even because of the first time L1 triangles, I'm actually preferring to go straight away with the counter attack. But this is the player roles. Advanced forward, playmaker on the camps, a bit more reserved, can help a bit defensively as opposed to shadow striker. And both CDMs on holding defend. Now, if you're watching this and you don't have the 4-2-3-1 and you don't have players that can play CDM, that's fine. Don't panic. Just use 4-4-1-1 and just put these players on holding CDM. I'll explain that in a second. But this would be the formation to close the game out. You're winning. This would be the formation to use. The next one would be the formation to start the game with. Now, I wanted to be a bit conservative. I made a video on this yesterday. Make sure you check that out for gameplay example, which I went over yesterday. But I wanted to be a bit conservative. I put counter, balance, 50 depth. Not so deep where you're sinking in. I think with the lack of CDMs especially as well, you've got to be mindful, but you don't want to be sitting so far deep with the lack of CDMs because you can get cut through. You will know what I'm talking about the more you play this game. With this formation, you'll understand what I'm talking about. But the only difference here we have, as I mentioned, is you have both of the center mids this time on holding. So you could actually effectively use this as an ultra defensive formation instead of an attacking formation or a balanced formation as I've got it over here. So I've got Odegaard on playmaker, both the left mid, right mid, inside forward, as I mentioned yesterday, and the fullbacks on defend. It's very much a classic system. You're defending in that 4-4-1-1 with both. So if you can't play with the 4-2-3-1 because you haven't got those center mids that can play CDMs, you can actually start the game with and close out the game with this. It's more than fine. So this would be the formation to start the game with. Suss out your opponent. You don't want to be too aggressive. Center mids still sitting pretty high up the pitch because they're center mids, not CDMs. And let's say, for example, you're inside the game and you're still struggling. You can then switch to this formation, or this system, should I say, which would be a 4-4-1-1 attacking. Now, with this one, it's very much similar to the one before. The only difference is here is we put the defensive approach, the depth is 60. That's the only difference. And in terms of the player roles, one thing we did is we increased the cam to a shadow striker. Now, as I mentioned this yesterday, I don't want to go over it too much, but a shadow striker makes it kind of like a center forward. So that player will basically play in behind the striker. Think of this like a 4-4-1-1 with two strikers, or a center forward and a striker, like the classic system. So that is why I've put shadow striker. If you watch my 4-2-3-1 videos for years, I've always tried to emulate a 4-4-1-1. It was never a 4-2-3-1. It was always a 4-4-1-1. Now, you got both the left mid, right mid, again, inside forward balanced. One of the CDMs, or center mids in this case, is on holding defend. That way you got one player. So if you lose the ball, at least you're going to have someone that's sitting back, because you've got Patrick Guijarro or someone like that, they're sitting back. And next to the player, you want someone who's maybe more box-to-box. Even go with a Tonali here, or, you know, you can even go with a Mateus if you have the coins, or someone like even like a Sissoko or a Bonmati or Alexia Putellas. So playmaker attack. The playmaker attack's going to be closer to the shadow striker, so you've got that closer distance that can help in the build-up play, and also in the final third, you kind of got that extra player being a bit more advanced for that can basically go inside the box with the L1 trigger, and that is one of the key benefits. The other thing we do have on the left back is we do have an attacking wing back. Now, don't worry too much. You don't have to basically, do I have to play an attack? No, you can put both of these players on fullback, stay back. You don't have to, but this could be an option that you could do. The benefit of this is it provides width, but if you're not comfortable with a left back joining the attack, let's say, for example, you want to be attacking but be passive, because don't forget, when you're converting from this system here, for example, from this 4-4-1-1 to this 4-4-1-1, not only are you just increasing the cam in the center mid, you're also adding a left back in. You see the difference? So what you can do is you can actually remove this, put both the left backs on fullback defend, and that way you just have like a slightly more attacking variation. But I think it's up to you. This will be more of your discrepancy depending on your level. If you're sitting here, you're more of a rank 3, rank 2, rank 1 player, you'll be more inclined to having that left back going forward as an attacking wing back. If not, you might be thinking, you know what, maybe even as a fullback, regular fullback on balance, or even just on a fullback defend like you can see on the right back like so. Then we'll go over to the more attacking system is what I put it down to, and this is where things actually get pretty interesting. So what we've done is we put counter, hide in terms of the depth, nothing too crazy. But the player role, that's the code again if you want to pause that and copy that. But this is what the things that I've changed. So personally, although it's a sole striker, I've always go with a poacher. I think poacher is the best one for making runs in behind. So my striker is naturally going to be a poacher. That's the reason why I've put poacher in. You don't have to. Some people like poacher on all their strikers, and I understand the use case of like that target forward, like someone like Son, or if you've got a singular striker, but I've gone with poacher. We're going with a shadow striker behind, so this is going to have, you're going to have one player running it behind and a cam just behind, and that's why I like that combination, because sometimes advanced forwards, they don't really run it behind. They come sometimes not deep per se, but they are looking to get the ball short as opposed to making those runs in behind. That's why I prefer poacher. Everything's the same here. The difference is both the center mids are on playmaker attack. Henceforth, when you're attacking, you're going to have the center mids much closer to your cam. And to bring those L1 triggers, to bring them inside the box, they're going to be more involved. Could you use box to box? Yes, but I feel like then they come back and defend. So I think using playmaker on both of them, it's really, really good. Of course, with more attacking, this is a situation where you want to be, if you're losing, let's say 2-0. You don't want to change your system, but you're losing 2-0, but you need to be more aggressive, more attacking, but you don't want to be costing. You don't want, like, for example, go to an ultra-attacking gung-ho formation. So this would be like the 2-0. Okay, you know what? I need to change something up, be more attacking. And most definitely the left back here, we've got them attacking wing back. The benefit of this is Calafiori, in this case, or a traditional left back in Ultimate Team like Mendy or something like that, they will go on the outside. And I mentioned this yesterday. You might have to watch that yesterday's video to get more information on this. But the Calafiori, the left back, will go on the outside, and then Martinelli will be pushed on the inside. So you basically can argue attack with an extra player down the wing and someone on the inside to support. So there's a bit attack here on the left-hand side. So you have a left back going forward. And that is why I said, depending on your level, you may want to, for example, put the left back on the attacking 4-4-1-1 on stay back, or even just a fullback. And then maybe on the more attacking variation, you have them as attacking wing back. The key thing is attacking wing back attack. Someone like Batcher is absolutely fantastic here. If you've got the money for Hernandez or Mendy, even better. If that doesn't mean they got a plus, it is what it is. But those are some fantastic players you can have there. Now, what do you do with the pressing tactic? Now, I've personally gone to a 4-4-2. Yes, the argument can be made. And if you're watching, it's like, you know what? I want to use a 4-4-1-1 wider on the chain. That's completely fine. You can use this exact same tactics, exact same system, just change to a 4-4-1-1. Why? It's because the 4-4-2 is the best pressing formation inside the game. I know you're probably going to be like, no, this is not realistic, because to find a player that can play cam and striker, there's only a few finite players. I think Zola is a moderate icon that's affordable, or maybe someone like Ginola on the higher end. But there isn't that many players that can play that cam and that striker role. So unless you're subbing, so what you could do is you could sub off that cam and then sub on a striker here. or you can do what I do and play that player out of position. Don't worry, if you don't want to do this, you can literally just go with a 4-4-1-1, the exact same system. This is what we've gone with the tactics. We've got counter, high, a depth on 70. And then for the player roles, everything the same. We've got both the fullbacks on balance, not attacking wing backs. We've got them on balance, so they're still going to be there to defend, but they're going to be providing that support going forward, which means ultimately you'll be left with 2 players at the back. And in case you're wondering, be thinking, wait, hang on one second. What do I do with the centre mids? Now, the centre mids, I've got them on holding centre mid. Now, this is something you'll see a lot. And the reason I do this deliberately is a lot of people ask me this on the pro scene. They see this a lot. The reason why is a lot of pro players, they trigger these players manually. So if you see them both on holding defend, you're not going too gung-ho, especially if you've got a left back and a right back going forward. It could be too gung-ho. Like when I mean gung-ho, I'm saying you could be losing 3-0, or you could be losing 2-0 with 70 minutes, but do you want to go 3-0 down? These are things you got to think about. So try this first with this system. If you ever want to make it more attacking, what you can do is just put one of these players to playmaker attack, and that way at least you got one player on holding, and then you have 2 centre backs to save you, because a left back and a right back are going to be fullbacks, going to be providing that width and going forward. So when you get counter attack, you're going to have 2 centre backs and 1 centre mid. And if you're really a top tier player, and you would know this yourself, when you're watching this, you can put them both on playmaker attack. But to be honest, even someone like myself, I'll be honest, when I verse a fellow elite player, they're going to do a player lock or first time L1 triangle, and you could be costed. And I think it's just way too risky. So I'd rather put at least one of them on holding, and then I can always, if I need to put that as a centre mid forward, I really need to, I can always trigger that player. Anyways, that is the formation of this video. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. I'll be back, I believe, tomorrow. So when you're watching this, I should be back on Monday for the uploads. Hope you've been enjoying the video so far. Don't forget, take a break sometimes. It's worth it. Thanks for watching. Best of luck in your weekend league. And maybe if I get some time, I'm going to be playing on my PC account when I'm away. But maybe I should just go out and enjoy some wine and sun. Anyway, thanks for watching. Take it easy. And of course, catch you next time. Peace out.